Hey guys, Tristan here. Welcome to Movies Music Mania. Today we're going to be doing a different style of review. I decided since, you probably noticed if you watch some of my previous videos that my camera isn't too great. I'm using my webcam on my Mac, so the quality's pretty bad. So I decided I'm going to do some audio videos, see how that works out. So now we're going to be talking about the brand new album from pop punk outfit Paramore. Paramore is a band that I have liked a lot over the years. They're probably one of my favorite bands working today. I just think they're definitely one of the most consistent bands. They've put out some really great records from Riot, which was a really fun album. Had some really good tracks like Misery Business, Crush, 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 and one of my favorite Paramore songs, That's What You Get, which is the first one. That was my first exposure to Paramore. I played it a lot on Rock Band 2. And yeah, I heard of Paramore through Rock Band 2. There's a lot of bands actually that I got into through Rock Band, especially Rock Band 2. And yeah, they're one of them. After that, Paramore released some other really great albums like Brand New Eyes, which had some softer stuff, which I actually enjoyed more than their harder stuff on that album. I really love The Only Exception. It's my favorite Paramore song to date. I love Misguided Ghosts. It has a very soft, hipster-like quality to it that you've probably seen something like Life is Strange or 13 Reasons Why. And then you've got Paramore, their self-titled album that came out a couple years ago. Maybe their best album. This one was really fantastic. It definitely wasn't as hard as some of their other stuff. It was softer and maybe a little more accessible, but they did try new things on this, and I really liked the different sounds and how they brought it together on this album. It was really great. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about their brand new album, After Laughter. First of all, just a shout out to how awesome that name is. It's a great name, After Laughter. Alright, so now let's talk about this. So on After Laughter, we're seeing Paramore take more of a pop approach, but they're not selling out like some other bands have been doing, like Linkin Park, Foster the People, Fall Out Boy, who are taking more electronic, hip-hop, and even dubstep influences. Paramore is actually going in more of a new wave type direction, very 80s style synth pop on this one. And I gotta be honest, I'm really enjoying this record. I don't know if I'd say is as good as some of their previous ones, but there's definitely a handful of really fantastic songs on here, and it probably will make my top 10 or at least top 15 best albums of the year list. It's not my favorite album of the year. There are a couple songs I don't like as much, but overall, I think this is a pretty solid album and a really good entry into Paramore's discography. So I'm going to quickly just go kind of track by track and talk about these songs. So After Laughter starts off with Hard Times, which is the lead single off this album, and I really love this track. It's super catchy, really fun, and it definitely has a Talking Heads influence as well, which is really cool. On the chorus, the background vocals definitely sound like something like a Burning Down the House or even Once in a Lifetime. We move on to Rose Colored Boy, which is a fantastic 80s synth pop inspired track with really awesome backing vocals. It's a really catchy song, and I love the guitars in this. Told You So is a really fun track as well, and I like how the way this song is structured. It's very different from normal songs because it doesn't really have a chorus. It's pre-chorus is kind of the main hook, which I think is pretty cool, and it works. It's an ambitious take on a song, and it's not like this is like revolutionary or anything, but it's definitely different. It's not normally structured, and I guess they kind of took a risk on this track, so I really like that. Forgiveness is a really nice, quiet one. A track I'm really enjoying. I don't know if everyone will enjoy this one because it does take some getting used to. It's not as in your face as some of their other stuff, and it's definitely quieter, but I'm enjoying it a lot after a few listens. At first I thought it was a little forgettable, but now I think it's just a really nice and quiet track, and I'm enjoying it. Track number 5 is Fake Happy, which opens up with this really awesome introduction, very acoustic, stripped back. Hayley Williams singing over a acoustic guitar riff. I really like this song because of the lyrical content. It talks about putting on a facade and pretending that you're happy when inside you're actually really not happy at all. Moving on, 26 is a pretty nice ballad. I wouldn't call it anything spectacular, and I don't think it really fits in this album, just because a lot of the other tracks in here are very 80s synth style, and this one does feel like a very stripped back acoustic ballad, but overall I think it is a really nice track. Not one of the best on here, but I think it's still really good. Pool is one that I don't like very much, to be honest. I mean, I do like the tune, but my problem with it is the sound effects in the background that kind of just take you away from the lyrical content, and it's a bit distracting in my opinion. At number 8, we have Grudges, which in my opinion is a bit forgettable. I do like that it kind of reminds me of the Cranberries. Even though the Cranberries have much more of an Irish sound, that song kind of reminds me of Dreams. I don't know though, there's something missing for me. Caught in the Middle is one I really like. I really like the reggae influence on this. The bouncing guitars give it a really cool sound. Idol Worship is okay. I'm not a huge fan of this one, and I don't like how it leads into the track No Friend, which is kind of just an instrumental track with some talking in the background, but the talking is very muted. It feels a little bit pretentious in my opinion. You can't really hear what he's saying, so, you know, the message isn't getting across, and I feel it's supposed to be deep in some way, but it doesn't really work. That being said, Tell Me How is a fantastic song. It's a really nice ballad. I actually think it's better than 26, the other ballad on here. This one's more piano influenced, and I could see this one actually getting played on the radio because it is quite catchy, even though it's a slower one and a little more sad in tone. Overall, I really like this album. I love how Paramore's lyrical content is kind of a contradiction to their very upbeat style here, because if you really look at the lyrics without listening to the songs, this is a pretty sad album. Hayley's talking about, you know, feeling lost and, you know, losing friends, and it's definitely an emotional album, but it's kind of candy-coated, which I find really interesting, and I kind of like that. Overall, I'm really enjoying Paramore's new record. Not every song on here is great, but for the most part, I think this is a pretty great album. It flows really well, and there's a handful of really great songs in here. I'm going to give After Laughter a light 4 out of 5, and I think I need to get it to there just because it is a really good album, and I can see it growing on me even more over time, and it will probably make my top 15, maybe even top 10 of the year. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think. What's your favorite song on this album? What's your favorite Paramore song in general? Thanks for watching, guys.